Dr. Punjab Singh, President, National Academy of Agriculture. I think this audio system is something wrong. Trouble or boss is higher or lower. Dr. Jonath Jones, Fellow of Royal Society, the Sainsbury Laboratory, UK. Dr. David, Director General ICRISAT. Dr. Rajiv Varshani, Program Director, Genetic in ICRISAT. I'm immensely happy to be here today, but I have been thinking myself, looks like I'm an odd man out here. Many genome doctorates around. I'm neither a genome doctorate. So basically, I'm neither a politician nor a doctorate. So I don't know what you people are expecting from me. In any case, by qualification, I'm a mechanical engineer. By choice, I became an entrepreneur by myself. And as a basic nature of the entrepreneurship, I tried many areas and finally worked for 25 years having managed fund and men. That is the key to survive the enterprise. But by surprise, definitely not by design, I landed in politics. Last 7 years, I've been the member of the Parliament of the Upper House of India. And last 3.5 years or so, I've been managing as a State Minister for Science and Technology for this country. ICRISAT is a great organization which is spread over 4,000 acres, I believe. And one of my immediate observation, definitely this organization and such a grand institute deserves a much better convention hall rather than this. That's one of my observations. In any case, ladies and gentlemen, it's a great pleasure to be have amongst a galaxy of agriculture scientists. At this conference, we have gathered to celebrate the 10th anniversary of Center of Excellence in Genomics at ICRISAT, which I am very proud to say that this is fundamentally funded by the DBT, which is under my ministry, and happy to see the growth. For any institution, initial 10 years really means something, which is the formative stage, which requires to establish many processes. And I am sure that the CEG have established wonderful processes, and that's the reason you are able to conduct these kind of conferences and research. Like we say, any institution requires a strong foundation, and fundamentals has to be right. And institutions have to be built over a period which are going to be permanent in nature. I always tell in my ministry, either secretaries or ministers are like clouds, passing clouds. We come and go. But the government is permanent in nature. Every institution is permanent in nature. Thereby, we need to really build processes. So, if blueprint is prepared, so any human being successors can follow the blueprint because goal is always common. So, I'm sure this institution has already passed through that phase. To be frank, I was a bit hesitant to accept the invite in the first place. But what encouraged me to give a second thought and ultimately accept the invite was this conference that is being organized on the occasion of 10th anniversary, that is the Conference of Crop Genomics, Present and Future, which I am personally have been dabbling rather, because everyone knows that India is a country which is an agrarian country and still 80% of the people are dependent on agriculture. But still, rightly or wrongly, as a post-independence of 70 years, we are yet to build sustainable, affordable infrastructure for agriculture, which is the key area. So agriculture is the mainstay of Indian society and economy. It is not an exaggeration if I say that it determines that nature and character of what India had through ages been and what India is now. I have no second thought admitting that it will continue to be so in future. So as rightly our Honorable Prime Minister Sri Narendra Modi ji have been saying that by 2022 every farmer's income has to be doubled. In fact, I have been telling in every meeting, not only income, I want every farmer to think of making his son or daughter to become a farmer. Now, like doctors or engineers or politicians, every profession thinks that their next generation to become this, to follow their line of activity. So that we have to, that now time has come to aim for that. So what is to be done for that? As a sector, agriculture is a reason for happiness and also a sector that is capable of spreading bloom. As a country, we moved from a stage, what is called ship to mouth, to what is called intensive and sustainable agriculture. So based on this, how are we going to make agriculture economically viable? So that is where today definitely we should think of making use of technology, because I need to talk something or other having come here, because I cannot talk your genomics, I cannot talk politics. So thereby let all of us to think where probably I may be of some use. Think of making farm to fork. So how are we going to get connected from farm to fork? The moment somebody consumes a particular product, it should be informed to the farmer that, okay, so-and-so which has grown in your farmer, which is already consumed at so-and-so place, maybe it is thousands of miles away, which is very easy because of the information technology today. So absolutely the time and distance is killed. That's where we are all living in a village called global village. So that is the area wherein definitely my ministry can help a lot. Increasing agriculture distress, rural indebtedness, farmer suicides, dwindling agriculture income are on the flip side. A few months back, tomatoes had no takers. So many farmers were taking it to the mandi and they were not able to sell, there were no buyer. And today, they say it is 70 rupees. So that means consumers are unhappy, the farmer is unhappy, because the system is totally, have been running in an inefficient manner. So that is where we have to think of improve, by adopting the technology, we can improve the efficiency. That is where whether tomatoes or onions or whatever it is, end of the day, which is required for the human consumption. Sometimes we feel that increasing production and productivity alone may not solve problems. Because today our farmer is, even if by vagaries of weather or off late because of the government irrigation projects, whatever water they can pump in, even farmer gets excessive production, still he is not able to get better price. He cannot store the produce. So thereby there is a need for us to think of bringing convergence of various technologies as well as trainings. So skill development, which we have been talking, skill development in many areas to build capacities. So most of the farmers are not definitely financial literates, which requires what is cost accounting, how the profit and loss has to be worked out. Because most of the farmers in this country have been working based on the cash flows. Whatever cash flow surplus he gets, he thinks that is his profit, which is not true in economic sense. So that has to be definitely properly educated, which requires a lot of willpower and focus to drive. So as we have been talking about demographics dividends of this country, particularly in anticipation of 65% of the population is going to be below 35 of age by 2022 or so. So I personally have been telling not only that, because of the life expectancy has gone up, we also have to harness, while one side we have to harness the youth, ignite the youth. Also we must make sure that our senior people, wisdom has to be properly utilized. The government has to seriously think. Government can do very little. Only institutions like ICRISAT can think out those things. Having said so, wisdom, I am very confident to say that our information technology can throw us too much of information. With a basic education, by keep on learning the information, one can definitely gain, or one can become an informed man with some kind of knowledge. But no mission can give you wisdom. Wisdom has to come over a period of experience, and many people sitting here definitely can throw a lot of wisdom in doing many things. So thereby these two combinations definitely can help this country and the whole world. I'm also happy to say that this country, we have almost population stabilization have taken place for the past 5 years if we study census. So thereby there is a need for us to meet the requirements of social infrastructure. Under the present government mission mode, under the leadership of Narendra Modi ji, we have been talking to reach saturation for everything, like house for all by 2022. We want to reach our pollution controls to the Second World War level by 2030, which we have signed in Paris. So when we reach really all those things, there will be a plateau. When having said plateau, the consumption is constant, population is, if we say theoretically population is going to be constant for some years to go. So there is a need for us to develop certain models based on the consumption is constant theory. How do we do? So we have to identify load centers. Each load center, because of today's available technology, it's very easy to understand what is the consumption is going on in a particular area. If such consumption is fed locally, instead of bringing something from north to south, east to west, west to east, those all are olden days mega productions, and then that is an inefficient manner. Today, particularly agriculture produce, there is no need, because we have greenhouses, we have many technologies which can be produced for every 100 kilometers radius of the population, whatever they consume. It's very easy to do algorithms. Under big computer analytics, we can know what is the consumption of rice or wheat or brinjal or onion or tomato or aloo, whatever it is. So as long as we develop those models to meet the requirement of identified load centers, that will go in a long way. I request ICRISAT to think of, in fact, I was talking to you that to leave alone government. Government can do very little. The productivity itself, it will be less than 20%, I must confess here. But government can do many things, policy intervention in many areas. So thereby, if you can develop private-public participations, that is the way to go forward. Today, whatever we take, IoT, artificial intelligence, all these things are available off the shelf. So grain by grain, brick by brick, building by brick, building by building, days are over. Now we are talking tower by tower. That means we need to get into a quantum jump. If ICRISAT have taken 45 years to build this kind of institution, definitely with today's available technology, we don't need to go spend 45 years of time to rebuild the similar institution elsewhere. So thereby the capacity building is very important, and across the globe. So India has got much more capacity to produce than their consumption requirement. So India can be the net exporter of every agriculture produce. So Indian business and commerce will go up, every farmer will be happy. So that is what we are looking at. Our government has made our intention very clear that agriculture income and farmers income must double by 2022. So we have hardly about 4 years to go to achieve that. So people like you definitely can contribute a lot. That is one of my requests I made to you. So my ministry can help in many ways. So in addition to the quantum increase of production, since I am not neither a qualified nor an experienced man to talk about the genomics, definitely nowadays we are talking about vitamin rice and the gene engineered produce, so many things, which should help a lot so that people need not gain weight and spend money to shed weight. So that can be balanced. Friends, I hope I have not spoken anything wrong or improper at the inauguration of this conference on crop genomics, since I am not a qualified person. So that is why I am trying to work around the subject. ICRISAT has a larger mandate, a mandate that spreads across all the semi-arid tropics. India is a part of that mandate. I was reading somewhere that the world population will be nearly 9 billion by 2050. In order to feed this huge population, we need to increase the food productivity by 70% across the globe. Keeping that in the view, I'm sure if India is targeting for becoming a superpower, this agriculture produce itself is enough to get enough foreign exchange. On the contrary, the ratio of arable land to population is steadily declining. Climate change, extreme weather conditions, frequent droughts are posing a serious challenges to food security and nutrition needs. In order to achieve the target of zero hunger, considering the current climate condition, it is essential to adopt inclusive and demand-driven innovations to develop science-based environmentally sustainable solutions to the small and medium farmers, that too in rain-fed areas. So having said this, so I have been observing many of last 70 years or so, our country have been spending huge amount of financial resources on a scientist-centric research. The scientist-centric research will eventually produce many publications, which are definitely required to improve each individual's CVs. But end of the day, how many publications are really becoming applicational, translational, nobody is able to track. So the time has come to get into the research what it is required for the rural India. First, then think of the globe. Definitely there is a huge global requirement, undoubtedly, but there is a huge demand from our rural India. Still many people are under BPL. Many people are starving for a square inch of meal. So I request every scientist to think of connecting with the needy people. so that our science and research can definitely go in a big way. You are all experts. Talking about genomics, next generation sequencing and modern crop breeding approaches that take us to next level is equivalent to teaching an elderly person how to cough, because I know that I cannot think of telling that. I don't want to take that risk. All that I can say is that there is an increasing need to enhance the complementaries between the agriculture scientists and the policy makers. Thereby, there's a lot of many other ministries. It is not that only Science and Technology Ministry. There are so many other ministries. Clean Ganga. How can we clean? So there is a need for us to approach with a theory called management by parts. So each part has to be separately managed, and there is a lot of agriculture input is required for that. So input costs, especially cost of seed, has to be reduced. When I say that, people immediately put forth an argument as to how these subsidize these seeds. It is high time that we revisit policy interventions, though through subsidies. So as long as a farmer gets an economic value what he does, nobody wants subsidies, nobody wants freebies. Farmer wants to be very proud, dignified man. He does not want anything free. He does not want loan waivers. But it's the policy makers and the available infrastructure, lack of infrastructure, he is making farmer to become distressed. So that has to be addressed. And I am very happy. In fact, I spent a lot of time with Dr. Swaminathan in this connection about, he always says that the support price. So support price is required, but it is a supply-demand gap management, and we have to think of how to save the wastage. The government cannot print like quantitative requirements of currency, which ends up, we will end up in a lot of inflation. So I am sure all the governments of the day will appreciate the need for it, not just in India, it is global requirement. So I understand that this mandate of Center of Excellence in Genomics, CEG, and ICRISAT is to work on dryland crops. I am sure that the developed world has not focused on them. I am not blaming anyone, but it is not their priority. As simple as that. I am given to understand that CEG has worked on gene sequencing of many dryland crops, which can be of immense use for developing better varieties of chickpea, groundnut, pigeon pea, etc. This is an adopted information from my ministry. This is not my own this thing. This is what they said. Okay, I wish that genomics and molecular biology scientists from our country should consider CEG as a role model for undertaking the deploying high quality science for agriculture. This is what I have been insisting. At the cost of repetition, the convergence of various sectors can definitely help a lot. I am told that ICRISAT is celebrating its 45th anniversary this year. This is what reminded me that ICRISAT is going to celebrate Golden Jubilee along with the Platinum Jubilee of this country as an independent India. So by 2022, the government of India, we are going to, every citizen is going to celebrate Platinum Jubilee along with Golden Jubilee of ICRISAT. That itself also has got a lot of significance. I was also glancing through your 3-day program session like Advance in Genomics, Genome and Germplasm Diversity, Sequencing Based Trait Mapping, Genomics Assisted Crop Breeding, Genomics Applications, Preparative, etc. And talks like Genomics and Address Sustainable Development Goals are very relevant. So this is what I wish you also could have called technological advancement tools. Today drones are, recently your GPS and GIS can help a lot. Entire crop management, which will make sense to the insurance company, which will make sense to the banker. What is the health of the crop? And a drone can today really can analyze every parameter what a person wants about groundwater level, about nutrition, then about your pest controls. Even a small infection takes place to a plant in a big acreage of crop. Today we have already technology. A drone can identify a particular plant have started infecting. So the drone itself can send signal to another drone. The other drone can go and treat the particular plant rather than spraying entire area. That itself saves a lot of time, as well as we don't need to make entire crop as a pesticide crop. So these are all the technologies which helps a lot to understand. The weather in Hyderabad is very good. Hyderabad is an excellent city with vibrant culture. I have no hesitation to say that you will enjoy your stay here as much you enjoy the technical discussions. While enjoying the place and the contents of the deliberations, please keep a question active in your minds. How can we double farmers' income? How can we make our farmer to think of his next generation to become a farmer? That's my humble request. Our government is with you and all. Any proposal, the first thing I requested to the Director General and Program Director, that please come up with some DPRs, detailed project reports, so that definitely I may not be in a position to commit something across the table like here, but definitely we may be in a position to help you out in bringing various other ministries together, and also definitely can support funding to some extent. I congratulate the organization and the CEC once again and wish the conference a grand success. And I look forward to see you all to celebrating the Golden Jubilee year. Thank you and Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.